from North Carolina. Here are the highlights. First SMX playoff round of the year. This is Z-Max Dragway, the 4-wide drag strip. A perfect place to blend elements of Supercross and Motocross. We had some action early. It's your brother Malcolm Stewart gets tagged by Cooper Webb.
Yeah, this was a practice start. This was on Friday, and yeah, it caused a lot of people. Looks like my brother ended up hurting his leg, but he was okay. He's a big boy. AP, Captain America, he's riding off the side. But yeah, these guys are going, and this was the big moment of the day. Jason Anderson, same practice, getting back up, high-speed section, took a huge hit, knocked the wind out of him. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to ride today, but yeah, hopefully he'll be back. And there's Justin Hill. Justin
got the footage.
Josh Hill getting the footage of a huge hit from Justin Barcia, another rider coming back from injury. Looking forward to the playoffs, but yeah, tough break. And then the day started.
Yep, then we go to racing, the split start, and Jett Lawrence returns to racing. It looked like he was going to have the whole shot on the left side, but watch Eli Tomac.
Yeah, that right side is a little bit faster coming into the right-hander right there. They're able to keep the momentum. They don't have to hit the brakes as much, and I think that's what got Eli into the lead early.
And Eli starts to pull away really quickly, James.
Yeah, I mean, he did the same thing the next moto, but Eli was back. Cooper Webb decided he wanted to take a little break right there, and Mike Pelletier decided, all right, we're going to get you anyway, son. So, yeah, tough race for Cooper. I'm sure he'll be back in Chicago, but yeah. Can't cut back. But this guy, Eli Tomac, we were talking about Jett Lawrence, Chase Sexton, the big two. Well, reminded why he's their second all-time winningest rider, and Beast Mode was back that first moto.
Yeah, I mean, just looks really comfortable on the motorcycle. Said he was comfortable on the motorcycle. Spent a lot of time at that Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha facility this week riding the SMX track.
Yeah, they had a special track prep for this, and another rider on that team, Justin Cooper, leads Moto 2. You've got Lawrence there in second, but Tomac on the charge again.
Yeah, and this is when you know Eli was feeling pretty good. The moves that he made early in the race, and riders don't do that unless they feel like they can make it towards the length of the race or they're really comfortable, and Eli showed you he can do both of them. And this was the pass for the lead of the fastest qualifier, Justin Cooper, and we thought possibly he was going to do what he did that first moto and run away, but that number one said, hold on, son.
Well, the key was that rhythm lane that Tomac used to get the lead. He couldn't do it all the way through. Now we've got the battle.
That was a heck of a turn down move to try to get by Eli right there. Very, very tough to make that pass. He wasn't able to, but to execute this on the outside, it's hard to pass anyone on the outside, and especially a guy as strong as Eli Tomac. Just an incredible run.
And that allows Lawrence, who had finished second in Moto 1, to get the overall 2-1. Edges Tomac with the 1-2. Second moto is the tiebreaker, and ain't nothing changed. Jett Lawrence, coming off the injured list, wins again. And respect from the 31-year-old multi-time champ and last year's SMX champ, the 21-year-old Jett Lawrence, and Chase Sexton in the middle. 4-3. Definitely not what the Pro Motocross champ and #1 seed for the playoffs wanted today, but he does salvage points. Hunter Lawrence, Ken Roczen, 4th and 5th. So great racing, but if you're Sexton, definitely wants to step up because this points lead won't last if he can't get it together here, James.
Yeah, I mean, he will. I mean, I chased straight up. He said, hey, I got smoked today, but because KTM, Carlos, all those guys, they'll go back and work, and it's going to make him step his game up, and he will. And look forward to next weekend, JT.
Well, that's right. I'm with Johnny O'Mara, and Johnny, you're a multi-time champion yourself, but these kids, Jett and Hunter Lawrence, you've been working with them for 5 years now. I don't know if there's ever been a better testament to the work and the process than we saw today. It's 66 days out of surgery. Been riding 3 weeks. Just talk about how do you get to what we saw today? Because I'll be on record as saying I didn't think that was possible. What we witnessed, I did not think was possible in that short amount of time. How did you guys get to today?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people would wonder for sure, and this puts a pretty big exclamation point on it. Why he is very special, but yeah, there's a lot of work behind the scenes, and yeah, I'm part of that work. So from the day after he got his surgery, which was on July 4th, was physical therapy every day for 7 straight weeks, with just 1 day off a week. It was intense. I think it would break most people. That's how intense it was. Even on the mental side, just like I got to get up at 5:30 and do this. You know, like it's just I mean, I almost felt like I was at my breaking point. Like, let's go, Jett. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. We got clock here. We got to be there at that time. There's like, it's not just like one thing. It's like 7 things during the day. So it's a lot, but that it does explain a lot. Like, I never not doubted him that he could come back and do this. Sure, even for me, I go, wow. I think everyone would say that, the family, all of us. But it just shows you how special he is and how committed he is to his craft. And he's literally the best guy in quite a while.
Well, guys, I think on the hardest days, you wonder, is all of this work worth it? It's hard to argue with it today.
No doubt. Thanks, JT. Johnny O'Mara, someone that both of you worked with.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a lot of connections. I remember talking to them around Redbud, the process in California, and all the different resources that they can deploy when needed.
I worked for Johnny for a long time, and then as I retired, he worked with James for a while, and I believe in the guy. I think he's tremendous off the track. I think he's tremendous on the track. I think he's respected by a lot of the race teams in the paddock. I think that he gives some great insight. I think he's able to help Jett off the track that essentially yields him great results on the track. And you know, Johnny is being very, very quiet there. I'll tell you that, but Jett is special.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm sure that you've talked to Johnny about it, but Johnny brings a lot to the plate. Just that wealth of knowledge. You know, I know how he helped me, and you can explain to everyone how he helped you, but he's a key part of that team. I truly believe.
No, absolutely. I mean, listening to Johnny, it's what he didn't say that said the most. You know, like, there was a quietness, confidence that he was saying, like, the kid's here. And I think part of the reason why they did all that work and came back, because they were sitting at home watching the number 4 build that confidence. And so, you know, Jett Lawrence, yeah, it'd be nice to win all this money, but I don't think he came back for that. I think he came back because he knew that, one, he wants to compete against the best, and he knows, like, look, I need to try to get him here and stop this momentum. And man, he did today. I'm not gonna lie, he showed up.
And like you talked about it, I don't even think it's it isn't about the money for Jett. That guy's making plenty of cheddar. Make no mistake about it. What you see from him, I think, is passion and pride. I truly believe that.
Yep. And there's the bag full of money right there. Johnny's got the bag.
Right? Yeah, and it is. I mean, the guy's making plenty of dough. What you're seeing is pride.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can assign someone to go to physical therapy. You can take them there. The person's got to actually have the commitment to do it. Let's send it down to Will Christian.
Crew chief here at Red Bull KTM, Carlos Rivera, Chase Sexton. If you were going to perhaps not have your best day this first round as far as the points go, doubling next weekend, tripling the weekend after, you talked about it on the podium. This is kind of the mulligan, if you like to give away. He talked about lack of comfort. Next weekend's going to really count. He's going to have to find that comfort here to keep that SMX lead. What can you guys do? What do you think Chase is missing that you want to see out of him in Texas?
I definitely think we need to get better starts. I mean, with these guys, they're really good. Not taking any credit, they're really strong in the starts, and he has to better starts. Confidence, he's a champion. He knows how to get back again, and I mean, he can do it. He can come back next week and swing it and be on top again.
And is there, like, bike-wise, where do you guys go? Is this about going, all right, Chase, you got one under your belt, this is on you? Or as a team, what can you do for him?
It definitely, every weekend we try to get better. That's our job, you know, to make the bike better and better. We never stop trying stuff. But definitely, we're not reinventing the wheel. I mean, we're pretty close. We just got to get better starts and move forward.
He's a champion. We expect to see good things out of him. Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate your insight always.
Thank you.
And thank you, Will. Yeah, that is one thing we actually had said coming into this. The only real weakness that Sexton had, even in Pro Motocross when he was dominant, James, we were there every weekend, the starts had not been very good, and also in Supercross.
Yeah.
He had moments where he was creeping up on both Eli and Jett. He didn't do it at the end, but he started behind him in both races.
Yeah, I mean, I'll read between the lines. I don't think Carlos said, no, it wasn't a bike, you know, like, I mean, we as a team, Chase is confident, he's a champion, he knows what he needs to do, but really came down to is that he wasn't able to do it. And the difference was outdoors, it's a lot more room, you know, and we talked about doing outdoors. He's a different rider out front. I believe if he started in front of him, it might be a different race. It might have ended up different, but you're going to have to pass these dudes. And those guys did it. Eli, since the moment he attacked, Jett Lawrence, since the moment he attacked, now it's going to be up to Chase Sexton, because I believe next weekend, for him not to have that outdoor season somewhat, it's never an asterisk, but to have people, and even in his mind, creep in that, man, maybe if he was there, things would be different. It is a must-win next weekend to me.
Well, 100% it is, and to support what you're saying, you know, as far as the passing perspective goes, I watched Eli Tomac pass Jett. I watched Jett pass Eli. Those are the two guys that went 1-2. And you listen to Chase, and he said that, you know, next weekend's really important, like really matters. Almost like he kind of brushed off this loss. And I tell Stu this, like, every single race counts. Every single race counts. We all know it's double points next weekend. But mentally, I'm not trying to give Jett Lawrence or Eli Tomac any type of advantage. No shot whatsoever.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, next weekend is double points, but it's who's winning. That's the part. Like, that's the Jett Lawrence. If somebody else would have won, Hunter Lawrence would have won, yeah, I would agree with him. But it's who's winning, because that guy's getting confidence, just like in that 250 class. Hayden Deegan's getting confidence. I'm excited to see what happens next weekend in Dallas.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Big reset button needs to be pressed if you're Chase Sexton. As for Eli Tomac and Jett Lawrence, definitely only one of them can win. But this had to be about as good as they could have expected it to be. Maybe even better than some expected it to be for those guys. Yeah. JT.
Yeah, and guys, when I sit here and I think about today and the performance that Jett Lawrence put in, and then I also reference Hayden Deegan and the level of excellence that he's rising to, I start thinking about the future and the collision course that they feel like they're on. Now, we're going to get another year of Eli Tomac, which is going to be fantastic. And you know Chase Sexton's going to stick around. One race does not make a season. But look at where we're headed. Look at the level of riding here today, the things that they were doing. You hear Eli Tomac, and I'm standing in the stand where Jett was making time on him. And it was funny to hear Eli Tomac reference it without me bringing it up. He knew he was slow in the sand right here, and he thought he could maybe survive that. But it seems like we're seeing that every single weekend. Go back to Daytona earlier in Monster Energy Supercross. Eli said he was too conservative. He didn't put the rhythm section together. He stopped doing the quad today, got a little conservative, right? Those little things are what's keeping him from, I think, winning these titles. And then you look at the progression of a Jett Lawrence and a Hayden Deegan, and they are so committed. They'll take the risk. They'll push the limit, especially Hayden. I don't think there is a limit he's willing to broach. We're in such a good spot in the sport. That's my thought moving forward. Yes, we're going to have 2 more great races, but big picture, we're in a fantastic spot in the sport of SMX. Will Christian, what do you have to tell us?
Well, you stole my thoughts somewhat there, JT, because I was over here at Star Racing Yamaha. I was watching Hayden, just the confidence. You're just watching him talk post-race here to his team. And just the way he holds himself, all the confidence that he has right now. And my brain was going to watching that pass on track of Jett on Eli Tomac, teammate here to Hayden Deegan. And it's just this idea of the potential passing of the torch. To see Eli Tomac and Jett Lawrence go at it like that at the end of that second moto was just something special, because you're just watching these two ends, these bookends of this sport, if you like, and we can throw Hayden Deegan comfortably into that mix, right, within the 250s, within the lights class, and it just makes me excited to look forward to 2025, because what we're going to see, is that handover going to happen? Ricky James, you've told some wonderful stories kind of like off camera about knowing when that moment was, knowing when you've gone, okay, it's time, I can't beat this guy anymore. And we're seeing just this snapshot, this incredibly special moment. So JT, to your point, it's just, it's an incredible time, and there's more to come, and it's exciting.
I can attest to exactly what JT was talking about in that moment, and it was when we were in 2007 at Atlanta. There was a little section coming out of a corner, and I was behind James, and you know, he was coming up over this gnarly, he was tripling over this gnarly backsided tabletop, and the backside of that tabletop was literally vertical. And it was from that point on, I'm just like, you know, I'm just not willing to take those chances, and it wasn't. That was the real moment where I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this. There were other moments leading up to that where I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to do that. But when you start surrendering to that, then, you know, then you just have to, then you're leaning on other things to try to win. And it's not just those spur of the moment thoughts like Hayden Deegan has or like Jett has.
Yeah, no doubt. And we had a live show for the fans last night. Come join us next Friday for that. And we were talking about why people love to bench race about you guys against each other. And my theory was because we had this long build-up. We had waited and waited and waited for you guys to finally race each other. I know it would be awesome to see Hayden Deegan against Jett Lawrence right now. That's an appetizer. We're going to get Tomac, Sexton, Hunter Lawrence, all these guys. But yes, somewhere down the line, we are probably looking at those two tangling. But kind of the more it builds up, maybe the more exciting it's going to be when we finally get to that day.
Yeah, but until then, we got to just wait and see what they do next weekend at Dallas. So they still, this championship still for grabs for all these guys, and you know, but they got off to a great start. Can't wait to Dallas next week.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.